Well, I accidentally dropped this camping knife I made a while ago and snapped the tip off, as you can see. So I'm gonna go ahead and regrind the edge to what I originally wanted it. It was supposed to be a much bigger knife, but I accidentally melted out the center while I was heat treating it. So the failed heat treat might have something to do with why the tip snapped off so easily, but I did get quite a bit of use out of this thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and reshape it a little bit, and hopefully I don't ruin the heat treat that's already on here, because I don't want to have to try to scrape this handle off and reinstall it. I don't really have another piece of antler that fits just right like that, so we'll see. The main goal here is to basically regrind it back to a tip, and originally the design of this knife was going to be a straight edge just from down here, but when I was hardening it I actually got it too hot and melted out the center. So I'm just going to go ahead and fix that now, because recurve knives are really hard to sharpen. I'm gonna kind of fix that profile, bring the belly down first, and then start to kind of form the front of it based off of whatever material I have after that. Now, a big goal here is to make sure this doesn't get too hot so that I don't have to re-harden it, because I did make this handle kind of special to my hand when I made the knife. It's a little bit thicker on this side, so it kind of hugs my palm more. It just makes it sit naturally in a nicer spot for me. I did pay a little bit of attention to that. It's not like finger grooves or nothing. It's just basic round handle, but I do want to keep this knife, and I don't want to have to redo the handle, because that did take a lot of work. And starting to take a little better of a shape. Just got to smooth out that front. That's really honestly the shape it's going to be. I'm going to make it slightly more aggressive of a curve up here, not much, but then I'm just going to start on the bevel and bring this bevel up a little higher, because it was kind of dropping down before. And then I have the primary or the secondary bevel. I forget the terminology, but it's got slight bevel up here and then another bevel for the actual edge. So that's kind of where I'm going with it. Just figured I'd update you guys. Like I said, you saw me dipping it real frequent. Right here it gets real hot, so I had to up the frequency, because I am chunking off quite a bit of material up here, but it's coming along pretty well. Okay, well, I've got that edge, if it'll focus, pretty straightened out, at least a main bit leading up to where the cutting edge is going to be. Still got a little bit of a misshapen bit there, but I'm gonna grind all that out with the hand grinder for the most part, or my little hand sharpener. But what I'm gonna do, just to kind of set it up and make it a little easier on my wrist, keeping everything straight, I guess, when I do go to the sharpening stone I have, is I'm going to use this little pull through sharpener just to kind of straighten it out a bit. Alright, so I've got most of the grinding done. I've just got this little trihone stone. Now I kind of already did a course on the belt sander, so I'm just going to start with the medium grit. Now, looking at it in better light, I didn't perfectly get that recurve out of it, but that's okay. That's still going to be a lot easier to sharpen than it was, and honestly I might even be able to get that little bit of material level with what I'm doing here. So for the lubricant, just using some gun oil, because that's what I have here. Usually I use olive oil, but I'll make do. A couple drops of this should do just fine. Honestly, I mean, you can just spit on the damn thing and it'll work. It's just something to help the knife glide a little better across it. Kind of rub that in a little bit. Probably could have just done that with the knife, but why not require a towel for this, right? Or an old sweater. Anything will do. Something made of cloth. I'm just gonna kind of get my angle there. And this knife is still really freaking chunky, so. not so well. That feels razor sharp, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab a piece of paper, get that a cutting test. Isn't that convenient? I'm sitting at my desk and I got pieces of paper right here. That's too freaking chunky. Cuts, it's just a thick ass knife. Get a better angle and stop trying to worry about whether you can see it or not, so I can worry about cutting it. Cuts pretty well, I'd say, for the freaking massive knife that it is. But I don't know how well this video is really going to tell you anything, but this is the edge before I go and beat the crap out of this branch laying down right here. I don't know how well you can see that, but I also conveniently left the tripod in my room, so here goes. I don't want to do too much smacking around because it is getting real late. I did some other stuff in between the making of this video, but doesn't seem like the edge took any damage. Should probably wipe it off so you can tell a little better. Still shaves the workbench that I probably shouldn't be messing with. I'm gonna go test it on paper real quick and then I'll call it. Alright, so I'm back after having done that chopping test. It wasn't super long, like I said, it's kind of late. You could probably see that I'm not perfectly symmetrical here with the two bevels, but the edge is still in really good shape. I'm gonna run a piece of paper real quick. See if we're still as sharp as we were. Mind you, oh yeah, the edge held up just fine. Now that I figured out if I don't try to look through the camera, I can actually do this better, it looks a lot better too. Granted, this notepad paper might be a little thicker than that notebook paper I was using earlier, but I can get like little feathered pieces off of this, my goodness. This is without stropping it either, and I'm serious, like I didn't mess with this in between. Like I'm right back where I was. I know the sharpening block's there, but I did not re-sharpen this like at all. Like here, I could make a bunch of noise here. Again, I gotta be kind of quiet because it's late, but so it's the hardwood top for this table that I was just banging it on. And I wonder if it will shave me. Doesn't look like it'll shave me, but definitely messes up this paper. Sharp enough to do that, so I'd say that this is a successful repair. Alright guys, well thanks for tuning in. If you made it this far, I really appreciate it. If this video was helpful and you think you might try this on repairing a knife that you really like and don't want to get rid of or have to reheat treat, maybe if you make your own knives or something. I mean, even on a DIY knife, or even on a non-DIY knife, like something you buy from the store. This one's not snapped, but I snapped the tips off of these knives, and you still got to be careful. It's still the same concept. You don't want to mess up their heat treat, especially from a factory. They probably did a much better job than I did. I'm guessing that's why it cracked in the first place. But anyways, if this video was helpful, I would appreciate a subscription and a like. I don't know if I said that already, but other than that, please enjoy the rest of your day, and God bless.